And I've been looking at this idea through with the team of people that are just smarter than me. Let's just be real, smarter than I am, looking at this idea of fiscal sovereignty and election protections. And so, for a level of clarity of what that is, this is sort of the worst case emergency framework, not regular politics. And I don't think that we're in a position to be doing regular politics. And it's not like a get back at you, like we are losing and we are mad. What I mean by fiscal sovereignty and election protections is what a state does if the federal government subverts an election, which we have authority over, an election, and then expects the states to keep cooperating like nothing even happened. That if I that's an abuse if I ever saw it. I don't want Virginia at a very minimum to behave like we'll wait and see what happens in November, because the core question I believe we should be asking ourselves is that if a federal authority if federal authority comes from legitimate elections, what happens when the federal government breaks every process that gives it legitimacy, right? What happens? And so there are a couple possible frameworks. One is that in the event of a certified constitutional crisis, right? Certified constitutional involving the federal election subversion, the state, hello, Virginia, could explore emergency fiscal protections. So it is an emergency. We could put this in place to say that we're in a state of emergency, including whether certain federal payments could be held in a state escrow account until the constitutional order is restored, right? I'm going back to the 10th Amendment, okay? Now, I will be very clear that does need some serious legal review, whether it's tax counsel, constitutional counsel. There's some folks out there, federalism counsel, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend to you like I'm saying this like it's easy. I'm just thinking, right? We are just trying to do some foresight and planning. But I am saying that the danger is far too serious for us not to study every single lawful tool available to protect our people and our republic. Understanding that fiscal sovereignty, when I say fiscal sovereignty and elections protection, right? Like fiscal sovereignty isn't only about we're sort of refusing to allow to follow the law. That's not the whole crux. It is asking whether a state has the duty to protect its residents when the federal government breaks that compact, right? The Constitution is not just, it's not just this feel-good document. It's not just this, it's not a freaking love letter. It is a structure. It is a relationship, a compact that if one part of the structure starts using the federal power to distort elections, then the states have to know what tools they have before a crisis hits. Because if we wait until after November, I am telling you to start asking these questions, we may already be too much in a heap of shit. That it helps to maintain federalism and the division of powers between national and state governments. See, I'm going to underscore this as a middle child again, that I've never thought of state government or politics as a pathway in my life, a path that I would walk down. But I think it's very fortuitous that I ended up in the state government because it is the middle child. I will keep telling you all this. It is the middle child of government. Middle children are essential to good order and discipline. I'm the middle of 5, so just bear with me. Okay, see me, notice me. Don't you want to get to know me? Mm-hmm. Okay, we're essential. We are a bridge. And everybody knows who the oldest is and who the baby is and baby boys and my oldest this. Everybody knows. But that middle child, Boy. And that's what the state government is. It's like the forgotten middle. Um, the forgotten middle that has the power to really put us in a way where we are safe, secure, and supported. One and only Misha said, "We haven't heard states' rights since the Southern segregationists used it to fight integration." Yeah, I know. That's why it's hard, and I think sometimes they're counting on us to not say the hard things. Sometimes I think that the folks who are tearing things apart operate in the fact that we have trauma as Americans, and there's certain things we just don't want to say out loud because we think it'll lead to the same outcome, which the things that they are doing will lead to the same outcome. And if we don't, we'll end up in a place where their outcome, which is based in, authoritarianism, is based in history. These things are happening. If we get closer to history, we'll understand that a tad bit better. They're walking down the path based off of historical context, and we are refusing a path based off historical context. Right?